Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to do another How Are They Holding Up? And this time, we're going to be looking at the Fanstoys Stomp figure. Now, I briefly looked at this, him and the Swoop back at the, either beginning of the year or end of last year, as the reissues. But now, you know, I think it'd be only fitting to do the entire set in one go this week. So here he is. I did take the time to find all their swords because I typically don't display them with the swords. For the most part, I don't think swords display well with the Transformers. It's cool when some of them have them, but for the most part, just the way that they hold the sword just doesn't seem to, like, oh, the sword just stick it straight out, or, across the chest, you gotta put them over the shoulder. There's just limited things you can do with a sword. And depending on how you have it, it's gonna eat up shelf space too. So I typically don't display them with the swords. They're a cool feature, but I did have to dig them out to try to find them all. But yeah, so here he is. Again, we looked at this not too long ago. This is now the third time we've looked at it. And there's going to be a recurring theme from start to finish with this set as we go, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about as we go. So he does come with the sword. He also does come with his gun. They do have light up features, but I don't have the batteries for them, so that's not going to work. So the guns and sword plug into the palm of the hand here. So just like this. And it does not tab in well at all. You have to use the fingers to friction around it. Once you do that, it's pretty stable. The fingers are pretty good. And then for this one, just like that. And yeah, and so it's just like, how do you display that? It's like either like this, or maybe, like this, kind of like it's over his head, or you have it sitting straight out, and it's just eating up shelf space. So, and there's only so many that would, you could do like this, too, but there's only so many that you could do that with before it gets annoying. So, it's got the translucent plastic here and the chromed plastic here. I would say this doesn't quite fit well with the modern MP. And I had a rant a week of this not too long ago. Where basically I'm saying that about the entire set. And that just holds true. The way they made these figures is more for like the MP10 style, and also the original MP Grimlock, with like the clear plastic bits and the chrome bits, stuff like that, and a lot of base plastic. The gun, it's got the gold chrome and the clear plastic, and it gets to a point where it's like, okay, this doesn't quite fit. Looking at the back, he's got just big sheets of chrome, and chrome on the dinosaur legs, the gold chrome for the feet. It's just all over him, and he looks good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to take it the wrong way. I do think he looks good. I think their whole set looks good. But it just doesn't quite fit the modern masterpiece. So, anyway, head is on a hinge swivel, so you get the left and right. Decent bit up and a pretty good bit down. He's got the clear plastic torso piece here that opens up to reveal some robot bits and stuff. And it's very much like the original toys. Like, they had a lot of chrome and clear plastic bits, and they had a lot of chrome under clear plastic, which was kind of weird. So, ratcheted shoulders. They do hinge here and at the shoulder, or at the bicep, or torso. So all that works pretty well. There is a bicep swivel, friction elbow, which does go back a bit too, but you do get it. Hands on a swivel here. Ball peg for the thumb with no other articulation there, so it's just kind of without a pin here. It's kind of like when you put something in his hand, you can't really get the thumb to wrap around properly, so you more or less just have to fold it down, and then just like that. And then each finger has 2 pins. So it's just kind of, they work fine enough. Nothing spectacular, but they do work. Ratcheted waist, no ab crunch, hips up to there. As you can see, you know, I think I showed this off in the quick overview video I did earlier this year. Yeah, so there's that problem. Oh, I can't remember what these buttons do. Anyway. Oh, I think that's what keeps that up there. I don't know. Anyway. Swivels out to the side. A little bit better there. It's okay. Thigh swivel. Bends at the knee just a little bit. And then the foot has a rocker and a little bit of a tilt. So yeah, nice, big, impressive looking figure. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. I think he's great. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he came with an extra head sculpt and stuff like that. I think they all did, but I didn't dig all that out. I just dug out the swords because I know those are important to some people. But here he is with my Transform Element Prime. And it looks okay, but the problem is like this is silver paint and this is silver paint. They're not chromed out. There's nothing on him that's chromed, whereas he's got a lot of chrome on him. So it's kind of like an MP44. And again, you know, we're looking at, like, I said this in that rant of the week, where it's like the chrome should be like a silvery paint, and or silverish gray, and the gold should be yellow. So they should be like red, black, yellow, gray. Not all these metallic colors. That's how the G1 cartoon looks, and it's like if we're going towards a G1 look like with these two, then he's gonna have to, you know, Dinobot should be in that realm too. This does not hold up very well with current MP style. Now, that being said, it's still an amazing piece. It's pretty cool, and I really like having the Dinobots. So I do wish that so it's got all the screw holes on the left hand side of the sword or gun and on the sword. I wish they would have picked like one to have the screw holes on this side, you know, just so that you could, if you're holding the gun in this hand and the sword in this hand, the screw holes are facing inward, if that makes sense. Because either way you have them posed, whichever weapon he's holding on the right hand, the screw holes are on the outside. So that's just a nitpick. Kind of like, I think they could have easily done that, but they just didn't think about it. Past that, I think it's a pretty solid figure still. He's got, obviously he's got a lot of weight to him, and that makes it a little difficult for him to maneuver. And it's like, maybe they shouldn't have put diecast in him to weigh down those legs. But then again, if they didn't, he's got a lot of stuff on his back too. So that might have made him very back heavy. So it's kind of like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think ultimately they did what was right for the figure. And of course, by this point, because I think he was one of the last to come out. But at this point, it was too late to switch gears and go more cartoon colors. So it's like, you just finish what you're doing. I do think if they were to reissue it fully painted without the chrome, I do think there would be a market for it, but I just don't know how big of a market would be because they would have to increase the cost. Original costs of these guys were about $200 a pop. And then the reissue cost was about $300 a pop. So if they were to reissue it again with more paint, I would imagine it'd be at least $350 to $400 a pop each figure. And it's like, I cannot fathom, there being a lot of collectors that are like, yeah, sure, I'll spend another $350 to $200 or $350 to $400 on a figure I already own and is on my shelf currently. I can't see people doing that. But maybe it's time for another company to make a stab at it. But again, it's just one of those, like, it's so hard to justify redoing the Dinobots when there's already two sets, and both sets did the same thing with the chrome and the more toy coloration as opposed to toon coloration. And it's just like, how would it's just an oversaturated market, unlike Sideswipe, where there's two versions of Sideswipe out there, essentially the Bad Cube one, which didn't look very good, and the original MP that needs to be updated. But I just don't think that there's enough here to warrant an update. Anyway, I still really like the figure, though. At the end of the day, I'd give him an 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty safe bet there. So yeah, that's it. And then as we go throughout the week, we'll just look at the rest of the Dinobots.